Welcome to The Crunch with Crib. I'm Jess, and each episode I'll be talking with some of WA's best real estate agents and business people to find out what makes them tick and what lessons they've learned on their journey to success. If you've ever dreamt of starring on the block, then you'll be envious of Lauren Zornada, director of Perth Property Flippers. For her, every day is a real-life block episode. Since leaving her job with a luxury car dealership in 2013, Lauren has worked hard to build a career renovating and developing Perth properties. And in this episode of The Crunch, she tells us all about the ups and the downs, as well as sharing some hot tips for wannabe renovators. Lauren, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're very, very welcome. Now, before we I guess the first question I always ask my guests is, what's your background and how did you get to where you are? And you know, you're a property flipper, which isn't a common thing. So even more important that we kind of find out how you got here.
Yeah, actually, it's a very interesting journey. It's definitely organically happened, which I think is pretty cool. So it was trial and error in the beginning to see, do I love this?
Mm-hmm.
It is a lot of work and it can be quite a stressful business to run. So, you know, you definitely have to be passionate about what you do in business to be successful. So
what were you doing before you were flipping?
So I was actually working in the car industry. So I was working for Barbagallo's in Perth. That was the position before I went into the business. So doing stock control for brands like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Range Rover.
Wow.
And quite a lot of our clients were actually property developers.
Okay.
And in property or had large businesses, obviously. Any opportunity that I could get to grab them while we're doing their car delivery. And I would say, how did you get to where you are? Or how are you finding business? I was just so intrigued by the whole thing.
Right.
And actually, that was a little bit of inspiration for me, I have to be honest.
What was your kind of interest? What piqued your interest before you even, you know, while you were working in cars, what piqued your interest in property?
So my parents, they were flipping properties without knowing my entire life. And also my aunties and uncles were doing farms, and they still do now here in Perth. So from a very young age, I think I was between the age of 7 and 9, I was painting houses with my parents.
Oh, wow.
Full houses. So I definitely knew that it was something that is a generational business. It can create good income, bit of equity increase by renovating and building and all of that sort of stuff. I was just like, definitely want to have this in the background of my life. Didn't think it would be in the foreground of my life and actually become like my child that it is at the moment. But most definitely was my parents and family that inspired that.
So you started obviously kind of part-time, did you, while you were at Barbagallo and slowly transitioned to being a full-time? Yeah. So tell me about that leap,
so renovating on the weekends when you work a corporate job for like Barbagallo's, they're a big organisation. They have quite a few dealerships, and I was managing 3 dealerships at that time. So we were working very long hours as well. So weekends for me were painting, tiling, and then back in on a Monday, which I just loved it. I loved both things that I was doing. So it's not that I had a lack of energy for it. It's just that it was I wasn't able to do the renovation as quickly as I would like because I was limited to those 2 days a week. So it took almost a year and a bit to finish a renovation whilst working.
And now, so what was the point? Was it a financial point? Was it I've got 5 under my belt, I'm going to really push this and go full time? What was the point where you said, I'm going to turn my side hustle into my full-time gig?
Yeah, when the side hustle made twice as much as I was making in my corporate job.
Okay, that was the point.
And I went, oh my gosh.
How long were you doing both of them? How long was that going on?
I would say a 2-year period. Managing both.
Wow.
So that was 2 house renovations whilst working corporate. And then when I went into the 3rd, 4th, 5th, I was out. I was full-time in the business. So that was in 2013.
Wow. So tell me, 1.5 years while you're doing it 2 days a week, it takes to flip a property. How long does it take you now?
So we're actually really pushing ourselves and pushing the business. So structural renovations tend to take about 6 months on a house size that we're doing currently. We try and knock them out in 12 weeks.
Wow,
so half the time.
So it's the block.
Look, honestly, at this point on the Akebia Reno, we're getting towards the end.
Yeah.
We actually have 20 days to go, and my brief to the trades are you guys ready for an episode of the blog? Because this is what's about to happen.
Yeah, right.
It literally does turn into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk me through the process of a renovation from start to finish.
Actually, on that topic of turning into the blog, it's self-inflicted. This is the funny thing about it all. We control the schedules. Us as directors of the company, we are setting these timelines for ourselves, and we could choose to blow it out if we wanted to. But actually, it's just so much fun.
To push it.
And getting everyone on board, our contractors and everyone syncing up with our mindset and all pushing ourselves, it just brings something so beautiful to what we do.
Yeah.
So we tend to keep them really tight.
Do they love it?
They love it.
Yeah.
We have so much fun. It's like 8 o'clock at night doing concrete pours and sitting back together, and it's something that not a lot of us or them even would do.
Yeah. I'm sure their families love you.
Yeah, well.
Maybe not. Maybe not. So tell me about the process from start to kind of, I don't know, from when you pick your property to delivering. What are all the steps that you have to go through?
Yeah, it's actually, especially in the Perth market at the moment. So we've built a property business in a downturn, which I am so proud of, actually. And I think that's really highlighted the skill level that we have within the business, because, different to the East Coast, they've been in an upswing. Flippers that are over there, house flippers, they tend to get that notion of luck put into their business model, because the market is growing and there is a lot of luck in that as well that they're capitalising on. We don't have that privilege. Actually, we need to be more strategic here to make sure that our deals are profitable in a falling market.
Yeah.
We're allowing for price drops in our feasibility.
So you're having to find genuine value, not just
literally
market increases.
Yeah. So we're buying properties on current market value. So what they're valued at today, we're trying to purchase them at 50% less.
Okay. And how do you go about doing that?
Yeah, very heavily distressed properties. So either someone's gone bankrupt, unfortunately, and we've come in and taken it off the bank that are in possession, or someone has passed away and it's been left to the family to sell, or tenants have unfortunately damaged it and the owner doesn't have the disposable income to be able to fix it, so they've had to short sell the property. So it's quite a few unfortunate circumstances, but someone's going to do it. Yeah. It devalues the street, devalues the suburb by having properties like that within it. So I think that we're actually helping the community, revitalising the community as well, and we're creating jobs.
Absolutely.
In a marketplace where construction is struggling, that sector at the moment, I feel very passionate about creating jobs for our team and, ourselves as we go along.
So tell me about the finding of the property. Do you have a team of agents working with you? Do you have connections with the bank? How do you go about jumping on, your everyday punters on realestate.com looking for a house? Yeah. How do you go about finding those gems?
Yeah, look, we have a lot of tricks that we use. We're definitely not standard investors. Yeah. And we've developed these over a long period of time. I have done a university degree's worth of training in this. Okay. Through mentors that are highly qualified in that area. So, for example, a property developer, he's done $1 billion worth of property development. He trained me in property development. Then I've gone to a renovator who, Cherie Barber, she's on The Living Room on TV. She was actually my first mentor back 4 or 5 years ago, whenever that was, maybe a bit longer. And another lady, Naomi Finlay, she's another secret weapon. So she's launched her TV show on Channel 10 at the moment. So again, it's just getting specialised knowledge from people that know what they're talking about. Yeah. They do what you want to do and then following it like a recipe. Yeah. It's not like, hey, I'm going to change the self-raising flour to plain flour and hope I get the same cake. It is following it to a T.
Every time.
Every single time.
Okay. So at the moment, what I guess I'm interested in, obviously our listeners are interested in real estate specifically. So how do you choose a suburb, the next suburb that you're going to work in? Or do you, what's your process in terms of, do you start with kind of a big wish list and then you hone in to find the one that's got the right property? Kind of what's that process?
Yeah, look, there is a checklist for us, and it's very important that not only are we buying a distressed property, so something that is, look, I actually would almost call it has to be unlivable.
Okay.
Yeah, best way to describe it. And
so
this is
literally no one else wants to buy it.
Well, you can't live there.
Yeah.
It's uninhabitable. I think a lot of house or wannabe house flippers as well make that mistake of going to home opens on the weekend and they're looking at properties that people are living in.
Yeah.
And they're thinking it's dated, so I can update it and this will be fine. Well, actually, we need to have these insurance policies built into our business that we're buying really super cheap. And that is the way. It has to be uninhabitable.
Uninhabitable.
Yes.
Okay.
The second thing for me, so development potential as well. So we need to maximise the potential of the project as much as we can. So I'm always looking for properties that meet a big criteria as well of what we can do with it to make it more valuable. Another big tip would be infrastructure upgrades.
Okay.
So especially in the Perth marketplace at the moment, we have obviously the new airport, train station link to the city, lots of upgrades around those sorts of pockets happening as well, shopping centre upgrades like Up and Carousel, just keeping an eye on what the bigger players in Perth are doing is a very good strategy.
Okay.
I have a couple of friends of mine, not something that I implement, but they follow places like Bunnings and Woolworths and Aldi stores.
Because they're the fast movers into those suburbs that are growing.
Yeah. And it tends to attract buyers into that pocket as well because they want to be near that infrastructure.
Yeah.
So that's one way of localising what you're doing to make sure you have supply and demand.
Okay.
As well.
All right. Awesome. So now we talked about your timelines and you're kind of on the block timelines at the moment.
Self-inflicted.
Do you set those really early and then stick to them, or has Akebia always been on those self-inflicted psycho timelines, or have you, as the process has gone on, gone, we can achieve so much better, we're really going to push it? How do you set your timelines and then stick to them?
Yeah, it's interesting. I try to, depending on the project type. So if it's just a cosmetic renovation, which means that you're not adding on extra bedrooms or doing structural elements, if it's just cosmetic, we can do that in 6 weeks very comfortably.
Yeah.
And that's where I set the timeline because I know that's what we've done in the past.
Yeah.
We've actually done cosmetic renovations in 26 days.
Okay.
But that was with not having a lot going on in the background, which now the business has other elements to it. So I don't set timelines like that anymore.
Fair.
But it's possible. If you're doing one, you can definitely you can hone that in a little bit tighter than even what we do. With a structural renovation, the general market consensus is 6 months on a structural.
Yeah.
I've taken it to a 12-week on a structural.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what I set in the business.
Yeah.
If we're doing a development, the timelines are set there from your builder, construction, and it depends on the market as well. When builders are really busy, they sometimes can take up to 2 years to complete a development.
Yeah.
When they're quiet, we're talking 9 months.
Okay.
So up front, when you're in your due diligence phase with your builders and your tradesmen, they give you the timeline depending on the project as well.
Yeah.
And then I try and set it a little bit tighter.
Okay. And then you're cracking the whip and keeping them on track.
Yeah, like on the Akebia reno, it's been really funny. So I set up front the timeline of 12 weeks. So it was from settlement day to 12 weeks. That's our deadline.
Yeah.
Then halfway through the project, I've gone, oh my God, we're so amazing. Let's try for I'll pull it in 3 weeks and see if we can do this in 9 weeks. More because I like to push the boundaries.
Yeah.
I think there's always room for improvement in a business. So I do shoot for the stars all the time. We missed the stars. We've landed somewhere amongst the stars, but it's good. So anyway, it looks like we're probably going to be a week late.
Okay. So you're down to 10?
That's right.
From 12?
No, we're doing 13 weeks.
Oh, 13. Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so...
Okay.
And that is not the end of the world for us either.
No.
Because I know that I'm pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
And when we're not getting close to finishing on the 9 weeks that I'd set, I just say to everyone, hey, we're going back to 12 because I can see that it's not happening within that time frame, and that's cool because we've actually had a couple of unforeseens happen on this job as well.
Okay.
So it wasn't exactly what we were expecting when we've opened her up.
Yeah.
There was a lot more work to
As
be
in
done.
the structure and the actual property. How often does that happen?
Yeah. Every time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's you have to be very soft on yourself in a business like this.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of unforeseens. It's high risk, high reward, and we don't beat ourselves up.
What's the biggest nightmare you've ever encountered on a project?
It actually happened to me on Project 33.
Okay.
So
what number are you on now?
Okay, well, for this year,
Yeah.
so in the last 12 months, we've done 15 houses.
Okay.
11 of those we have purchased, and the others that are in there are for business partners that I've stepped in and helped out, and also I was in America
Okay.
on a couple of flips over there.
Okay.
So
I've got so many questions that we can come back to, but tell me about your biggest nightmare. Project 33.
Project 33, wow. This has actually inspired another chapter of the business for me. So it's quite funny. The biggest lessons and hardships that I've had in the business have been the biggest blessings. So I'm actually looking to get my builder's ticket now going forward.
Wow.
Which I find hilarious. And everyone that I tell are like, this is really quite funny. If you've ever seen me, you would know why it's funny, right? And you know, honestly, Jess, I think I'm doing it for a laugh.
Just for the lols.
Because I find it funny. And when I find something like, I don't know, look, there is a professional element to this.
Absolutely.
Everything's very strategic for me. But if it's fun and strategic,
even
like
better.
Triple whammy for me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can control my timelines. Now I'm the builder.
Yeah.
Whereas and this is what happened on Project 33, I was at the demise of a builder who
Okay.
I could not get motivated. I had taken off to America while the project was underway, and I was relying heavily on my project manager and the builder to see it through. And I'm getting Skype videos and all of this sort of stuff, and I'm going, holy shit. This is not where we need to be. And I'm here, and I literally wrapped up the US stuff and flew back into chaos.
Okay.
It was actually a nightmare. Yeah.
So project, like not hitting deadlines, things are going wrong.
Quality was disgraceful.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and not being able to be there to show or guide or change anything was really tough for me, and so that was a big lesson. I thought that I could hand the business over in a way to my staff, but I think the key to a successful business is a director that is hands-on. Actually,
absolutely.
And I'm a very creative person as well, so a lot of what happens in the project, it is my vision and my dream. So I'm like, how do you get someone else to get in your head? It's actually very hard to do.
It's very tough.
So literally flew back in from America and sacked a whole heap of people.
Okay. The tough decisions that you need to make.
Yeah, and it was like, I'm a very soft personality. Like I can't even kill a blowfly. I'm a vegetarian, and literally, like, I feel, and I do a lot of yoga. I'm very spiritual, so I feel with people, and having to be the boss and be hard and sack people and do all of that sort of stuff. It's so against my personality.
Yeah.
I would be more inclined to give people a try and then try and train them and do all of that sort of stuff. But it can come to a point where if someone does not see your vision and they don't sync up with you, you cannot train them.
Yeah.
And you have to make those hard calls.
Yeah.
So we had it was a big learning curve for me.
Okay.
Project 33. I stepped in actually. So the builder hired me.
Yeah.
That was
okay.
I actually said, this is your only two options here.
Yeah.
You walk away from this and I step someone else in, or you hire me as a project manager and you let me take over your site.
Okay.
And I did.
There you go. So I wanted to ask, and that leads into your team, because I wanted to ask about the team and I guess the structure of the business. It sounds like you have a lot going on. And I think property flipping isn't something that is well known amongst people. They kind of think of it as something that's a part-time job, or, you know, you come in and you reno a house and you sell it, like you said, cosmetic changes, I guess. So the structure of your business, what you've got going on, and the team around you, and, you know, is that mostly contractors? How do you select those people? Can you tell me a little bit about?
Yeah, you're so right about it being a foreign concept.
It's so foreign.
Yeah.
Even chatting to you, I'm like, my God, I didn't know any of this was a part of, you know, your business.
Yeah. So we're Perth Property Flippers. So many times we get Perth Property Flippers. And I'm like, no, we're not a slipper business. That's how foreign it is, which I love.
It's quite an American term.
It is such.
You mentioned you'd been to America. Was that obviously learning? Yeah.
So Instagram is such a powerful tool. I started the business Instagram account when I started in, actually I had a look back getting ready for the podcast, and we opened that account in 2014. So about 6 months after I was flipping. Actually, I was flipping for 2 years before that.
Yeah.
But after I went full-time into the business, I started the Instagram account because I just felt like this was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a thing back in 2014, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But it did open the door to, because I was hashtagging house flipping, and it was bringing up American people. So I met a very close friend of mine now who's a house flipper in LA. And Yulia and I have been talking for a very long time, since the beginning. Yeah. And she was like, there are house flippers in Australia. This is amazing, right? It was just hilarious how it started. And I always said to her, I'm coming over to train with you, girl. Yeah. And that happened at the end of last year. So I was in LA on one of her flips. She's doing multi-million-dollar Hollywood Hills flips. Okay. Which is an area that once the Perth market stabilises, I would be looking to take the business into more of a prestige market. But it was just fantastic to see her doing her thing in a market where it is normal and contractors are used to your business model as well.
So how many businesses like yours do we have in Perth at the moment?
Look, I would challenge someone else. See, I can't comment because they could be very unseen. Yeah. But I think we're actually the largest house flipping company in WA. And I would love to meet anyone else who is doing more than us, because I think that would inspire me even further to see what they're doing. Yeah. But as far as I know, there is no one else doing as many as what we are. And actually we've shocked ourselves the way that we've been able to perform in the last 12 months as well. So
tell me what you're working on at the moment, or what the last 12 months you've kind of done.
So 15 renovations all up, which is a mix of developments in that as well, and structural, actually mainly all development potential renovations. So it's all, like I said, in my checklist of musts in my due diligence phase. It's to try and layer on as many of these strategies as possible. So deceased estate, distressed property, renovation potential, development potential, subdivision potential, able to hold on a strategy, so high rental yield or Airbnb as well as laid in. So if I can check when I'm looking for a property and I'm going tick, 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 Holly, oh my God, you check 7 of these in the strategy, I can do all of them.
And how do you decide what to do if that's the case?
So that takes a little bit more research, definitely. So like the Airbnb strategy is a new one for us, more because Airbnb is a new strategy in Australia. As well. So we're always evolving and following market trends or what the market is looking for. And I think in business, you would be very silly to not evolve in this day and age, because technology is changing things so rapidly. Plus, also, I find it really exciting. I love the whole tech side and social media side. And these apps that we're managing our businesses off from wherever. I'm like, holy moly, this is just brilliant. Why would you not evolve? You know, such a missed opportunity. So, like the Airbnb thing, it's not that it qualifies on all of ours. The Akebia Reno is not an Airbnb. We are flipping that because it doesn't qualify our hold strategy, but it qualified in all the other areas. Okay. So you've just got to be... Okay, so my little tip talking about Airbnb. So how do you know if it's a good Airbnb hold? There is a website that you go to called airdna.com.
Okay. There you go.
And you pay $19 a month for the subscription. And what you do on there is you type in the suburb that you're looking at, and it does a correlation of all the Airbnbs in that suburb, and it will look through their calendars and see what they're charging, and it will tell you the average night rate. It will tell you their occupancy, so how often it's booked out. And we look for properties that are booked out for longer than 50% of the year. Okay. So if they're booked out under 50% of the year, we don't touch them for Airbnb. If they're up around the 80%, 90% occupancy, then you're onto a gold mine.
Right.
Yes. And
so
also
airdna.com.
That's the one.
There's a hot tip for you.
Yeah, I can't believe I shared that. You guys got really lucky. Got me on a good day. It's the good vibes only sign. Yeah,
out.
so look, anyone can do that, and a lot of these tools that we utilise in the business are public platforms, believe it or not. It's just knowing where to go.
Yeah.
It's knowing where to look. And again, it's baking the cake. It's the recipe. So we follow everything that we do in the business to a T. Like does it qualify? I'm not playing guess games with anything when it comes to that.
So
it may look like that on social media though.
No, we know. We know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So with the development site, for example, are you building, I think of a development either as an apartment block or townhouses, or are you building those, or are you getting the site prepared? What's the process of, say, development as opposed to the Akebia Reno, which is structural changes to an existing property that you're then going to flip?
So like the Akebia Reno, so we had another one called the Hartfield Reno. That was a renovate the front house structural, same as Akebia, but it had development potential. So we come in and subdivide the land. So we're creating the side access driveway to drive to the rear lot.
Yeah.
I'm doing all the services. So we're doing all the underground connections, installing like massive soak wells down the driveways that I could live in.
Yeah.
Right? That cost a fortune. No, it's not a waste of money. These are things that you have to do to qualify with the WAPC, the Western Australian Planning Commission, give you a checklist of what is required to be able to subdivide a property and run services. So I manage all of that in-house.
Okay.
I have my surveying teams. Obviously, you're only as good as your team. And you would be quite crazy, I think, to think that you could do all of it yourself.
Absolutely.
And working underneath me within our business model, we have 40 to 50 years worth of professional experience that I have on call 24/7 to help me.
So then tell me about your team and how you've structured your business. Is it you and a business partner heading it up? Yeah.
Yeah, so it was my ex-husband and I.
Yeah.
So in the last 12 months, we decided to part ways. So going through a divorce whilst creating a business.
And renovating, flipping 15 properties.
Yeah. Like we've had a big year.
Yeah.
It's been massive, but it's, it's only made us, my ex-husband and I, stronger.
Okay.
Because we've had to still work together.
Yeah.
Because it's not a quick okay, we're not going to be in business together anymore. It's done tomorrow. It has taken us a while to unravel it. But in that process, we have become even stronger as business partners as well. So we're still working together now.
Yeah.
I was on the phone to him in the car on the way here to the podcast talking about all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So he was a very solid part of my support system for the last 12 years in the business, and still is now. Going forward, though, because of the change over the last year, I have started to bring in new business partners because it is important to have that person who is as responsible and accountable as I am in the business. And you cannot get that out of a tradesperson. You cannot get that out of a subcontractor and someone working for you. They just don't have the skin in the deal.
Yeah, they don't have the investment.
Yeah, to do what I do and how I feel within that. So it has been a natural progression to let other business partners into what we do. And I actually credit my divorce to the business growing the way that it has in the last 12 months.
I imagine it would force you to put in processes and things in place that maybe before, when you're working together with someone so closely, you kind of, you know what goes on. Each of you know, whereas, you might have to put other processes in place so that things are more formal, and that enables growth of the business and enables other people to come in.
Massively.
Yeah.
I think we've actually only become a business in the last 18 months.
Yeah.
Even though we have been operating as a business since 2013, it's quite funny. It's it was really just me having fun doing my thing for the last 5 years, and now I'm I want to take this to the next level, and I need as much support as I can. I need to get everything out of my head on paper into systems so that I have people that I can step in, and I've had to do that in the last 18 months, and then it's helped the business grow. Because I'm no longer working in the business. I'm working on the business more. So, it's quite cool.
What about your trades? Do you work with the same trades every time, or do you have a team, different teams?
Yeah, look, just like us in our own day-to-day jobs, right? We can get bored of what we're doing. So we've had trades that are fantastic at what they do, but then they've gone up and taken a mining contract, and that means that we can no longer utilise them in Perth. So you do organically have to change people within the business. The ones that are fantastic, yes, you know, and it is proven project by project as well. And I think we all hold that same standard to what we do. Even myself, I'm like, I'm project to project. I'm only as good as the one I'm doing now. Yeah. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past as well. You know, the second we're on to the next one, we're in the next one. Yeah. You know, so everyone's got to continue to toe the line as we go along. And if there is that's coming out of alignment in any way, then there are a lot of people that want work and a lot of very good tradesmen out there, and we're always willing to take on new people within the team. Plus also now, because of the size that we're starting to go to, we need backup as well. So we can't just have one electrician that we call just in case they're on a large contract when we need them. And
they're not available.
So we really have quite a large contractor base that we utilise. And they are my loves.
Seriously? On site with you every day.
Oh my gosh.
It's like your colleagues.
Yeah, I ring them, I'm like, where are you at the moment? And they're like, yeah, I'm on this job over here, Lauren. What do you need? And I'm like, do you reckon you can come here in 10 minutes? Like, I'm dying. Like, this has happened. And they go, okay, where are you? And they come and save me. Like, they
used to have good relationships.
Oh, I am nothing. Honestly, this business is nothing. They are everything. My tradespeople, they know how much I love them. I feed them and bring them drinks and praise them constantly because I'm so bad with tools. Terrible. Like injure myself, injure everyone, damage the project. Nothing happens without them. They are everything, and they definitely do not get enough credit for what they do. So I make sure they feel it. Yeah. All tradesmen. Seriously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about your agents? Obviously that's our area. That's who we talk to all the time. Do you have your go-to real estate agents? Does it depend on the suburb you're working in? How do you select your agent?
That is an awesome question. So I do a little bit of mentoring, and eventually that is the end business goal for me. Once I have it passively set and it's all going good, I would love to give back and train other people to do what we do. So I do a little bit of that in the background at the moment. And I always say, this is what I do. I only deal with the licensees of the agencies within that suburb. Okay. So it is area specific. We don't carry one agent across the board because they could be, for example, very far south of the river and then we're on a project very far north, and they're not area experts of the far north. They're area experts in the south, southern suburbs, and I respect that. And I also respect the travel time between that. If there's someone that wants to view my property at short notice, they're not going to be able to do that like a local expert would, or able to stand there at a home open and say, I sold that down the road, I sold that next door in this year, I did that. And that to me, like, I know if I was a buyer, I would appreciate that area knowledge. So I'm always trying to, within the business, step myself into other people's shoes all the time and think, what would I want? But I think a very big key to the success is dealing with the directors. So if I'm new in a suburb and I've never met anyone before, I'm looking on realestate.com and I'm seeing who has been selling. What agency has been selling? That's my first point to start to scale down. Who am I going to walk in the door to in their office and ask for the owner and ask for the licensee? Okay. So I scale it first in the background, and then I'm out meeting them, and then it's a vibe thing. Getting there.
So you're interviewing a few, and then you're kind of getting a take on the vibe. Is it ever a question about, some licensees don't sell, or they sell, they'll sell one or two to keep their finger in the pie. So are you going to the licensee and saying, give me your best agent, or are you going to the licensee and saying, I want you to sell my property?
I want you to sell my property.
Okay.
I'm okay with you having, let's say you've got 2 support sales guys. Absolutely okay with them working the home opens and doing that sort of stuff. staff, if you vouch for them, I trust you as a director. And I'm the same, you know, within my team. If I'm going to set someone out to step in for me, I'm making sure that they're going to do that. This is my reputation on the line. Yeah. And I know they're the same. Yeah. So it's not a strict like, no, I'm not flexible to what you know, your busy schedule. Yeah. But it is definitely having them closely monitoring our listing. It's very important.
Yeah. Okay. The other question I wanted to touch on, and we briefly spoke about it earlier, was social media, because you said you've been on Instagram now 5 years?
Yeah, 5
2014.
years.
And you do have a really big following. So how important is that, I guess, for your business? What's the strategy there? It sounds like everything you do is strategic.
Yeah, look, that was a real gut feeling in the beginning. Yeah. I honestly cannot put my finger on why I felt like Instagram was going to be something. I just did. Yeah. And I kept it there. Yeah. No matter what was happening, it was a platform other than like Facebook just never worked for me. Yeah. I did not vibe with it. And actually, I feel like in the last couple of years, it's not vibing with a lot of businesses. Yeah. And it's really interesting that we happen to be there present on Instagram and work at it when it wasn't a thing. And then when it has become it, we already had a presence. So that happened really organically. Yeah. It was just a gut feeling for me.
And how do you use it? Obviously, you know, your stories are a great insight into your business and what you do every day and you as a person, but you're not really like your agent selling your product to the marketplace. Yeah. So what is it? What's the benefit for you guys as a business, I guess?
I do not spend any money on marketing.
Okay.
That's the first benefit. Yeah. It is a free platform to be able to get your message out unfiltered, really. So I'm a bit of a rebellious soul, let's be honest. I always have been, and I think that is a massive key to my success, because I don't conform to the norm. Yeah. I definitely like to break the mold, and one of those things that Instagram attracted me to be able to share my true message, who I am, and whatever junk I want to share, whether, you know, it's just my life. Yeah. It's a bit of a behind the scenes sneak around what we do day to day, and I'm not trying to sell anything.
No, it's just a bit of a sneak peek.
Yeah, and it's become so valuable in the business, even though we're not utilising it to sell our product, because it doesn't work like that. You know, our agents, like you said, it's their job to sell our product. But then after they've sold it, and when the buyer has found out that this was a house flip, they come on and follow my page and message me and send me photos of them living in the projects and how much they love it and all. And I'm like, I love this. Yeah. Like, it's feeding my soul, having it as well, and being able to inspire other people to do what we're doing, because they are seeing how much fun we actually have while we're doing this as well. Yeah. And, you know, I think it's such a blessing to have a platform like that you can unfiltered show what you want to show. Yeah. What goes on. Yeah. The true story. Yeah. So it's quite an interesting one. I think it's actually helping our sales. Okay. As well. Yeah. Well, I guess, and especially, you know, with hashtagging and all of those things, you can reach people in those areas that are not only following you as the business, but are looking for a home in that area, or, you know, you're kind of catching them before they're seeing the good quality work that's going in, and you're catching them before it even hits the market. I think that's actually a really good point, the good quality work. Yeah. So buyers as well, they can be a little bit on edge about buying a renovated property, because it's not like when you build, you don't have the same types of warranties and all of that stuff built in. So they may not value a renovated property as highly as a new build. But if they know that we're an expert professional and we've had a long track record of renovations, they know they're getting a quality product. Yeah. But they only know that because we're sharing that on social media. Yeah, that's exactly right. Or on our website. Yeah. Whereas other renovators, like mums and dads that just fix up their home while they're living there and then sell it, they don't have that expertise that we offer, actually. So there's a little bit of a market advantage there for the buyer as well, to feel confident about our product. Yeah. And I think that's driving a higher sale price at the end as well. Beautiful. Airbnb, we touched on it before as being a new strategy for you and a new tick box. And I wanted to quickly, I guess, ask what
it must be a new branch of the business, because unlike a flip where you're selling it and you getting rid of it and you're moving on, I'm assuming you're holding these Airbnbs and managing them.
Yeah.
So is that a new branch? Are you going to manage them yourself? Are you bringing on a property manager? How's that happening?
Yeah, so in the last 7 months, we have set up 6 Airbnbs, which
Right.
is quite crazy to think we're doing one a month pretty much on average now.
Yeah. Is it mostly cosmetic then, if that's the case? Like when you're setting them up?
Yeah, it's the furniture styling aspect. So obviously it's a project that we've either built, developed or renovated in the beginning, and then we're doing the final step of furnishing it and making it a livable property. So we're supplying everything that you need to be able to stay there for a weekend, down to the little wrapped shampoos and all of that sort of stuff like a hotel. So
I saw you doing on social media your guidebooks and, all of those kinds of things that you're writing up as well.
Yeah, that's right. We have to provide manuals. Basically, it is a short stay hotel service. I am on call 24/7 with the Airbnb business. I manage it myself. The reason I do, and I think it's really important for anyone as well in business to learn it from the ground up. So my purpose in the beginning of me being the person was I need to know what it's all about first, so then I can tweak it and make it better. And then I will step someone in, because also I can gauge the workload now. So when someone says to me, Lauren, I want to charge you this for managing that portfolio, I can say, hey, girl, boy, I know how many hours goes into this business because I've been doing it. So this is what I think that actually we should be paying for it. Whereas if I was not involved, I would not know. I mean, could you imagine how much work is involved managing Airbnbs? It's like foreign. It was foreign to me as well. So I was like, I have no choice. I have to sit in and track this for a while and get it. Actually as well, I have a bit of OCD, bit of a perfectionist. And I really had a goal within the Airbnb business to have like a Meriton. We want a 5-star product, and we obviously offer that within our house flipping business already and in the developments. So I wanted to make sure the same level was being carried out in the Airbnb business. And we have within a very short period of time been upgraded to, so there's something called a Superhost, and then there's a Plus. So that's even higher than Superhost. So now I'm a Plus host already within a very short period of time, and that's only happening because we are perfectionists in what we do. We're giving 5-star service, and that is responding any time of the day or night, and making sure the property is sparkling clean, and it's like a hotel service for the guests. And they get to contact me. They call me and go, Lauren, the Wi-Fi is not working, and I'm like, okay, hold on one moment, I'll log you into the house next door until I have call Telstra. And
it's really a whole new business. Once you move it on to the hosting side of it, it's, a completely different ball game.
It is. And it's very financially viable, or else I would not be doing it. It would not be taking the time out of my reno business if it wasn't. So, it's something that I think in this marketplace at the moment with rental yields falling the way that they have, I think all investors should be looking into their properties that they currently own and seeing if it fits the Airbnb model as well.
Air DNA,
girl.
You've let it go now. It's out there. It's out there.
Hey, you know what? Helping others is a big motivation for me in what I do, because we're self-made, and I think we get in our own way on the journey of success. A lot of us have dreams and aspirations that we choose not to follow ourselves. And if only we got out of our own way, we would do it. And I feel like I want to transpire that message that I had to get out of my own way in business to be able to do these things as well. It wasn't like no one handed it to me. Here you go, all done and dusted, Lauren. I've had to go into areas that I know nothing about and learn from the ground up.
What is your biggest motivator? You said before you're working 17 hours a day, 7 days a week at the moment.
What
is it?
It's taken me a long time to actually find out my purpose in why I do what I do. And it honestly has only come to me in the last year. And that is through being exposed to some pretty high-level business coaches actually in the last 12 months. And they ask you these questions constantly. Part of the business training is let's talk, we're going to reverse engineer your brain.
Yeah.
So we need to start from why and go backwards and commercialize your why. And my why is freedom.
Okay.
I just want the freedom to be able to be here with you. If I want to go and have lunch down the road with someone, but also still running my business, you know, off my mobile phone or, you know, like, it's such time is invaluable.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my motivation.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a bonus that I'm doing something that I love. I'm obsessed with real estate.
Yeah.
Whether or not the market's doing great, I feel like our reality is what we create. You know, and I've chosen to create a good one. Yeah.
Are you ready for an upturn in the market? Can you handle it?
Girl. If I'm hyperactive as it is and doing 17 hours a day, God help us all when the market
when
turns.
It turns.
Yeah, seriously. Actually, one of my goals for the business, and it has been for a long time, which it used to be a laugh, let's be honest. When I would say these things when I was goal setting, I'm like, oh, Lauren, you're an idiot. Now it's not.
Yeah.
And actually, so I want to flip shopping centres.
Wow.
So
why not?
Because
there's plenty of crappy shopping centres around that need to be flipped.
Yeah, I want to own a nail salon and a hairdressing salon and a clothes store. That was my only motivation.
And now it's
starting to become. Happen. Yeah, we're planning for it.
Wow,
which I never
How
thought.
Exciting.
Yeah. So
super exciting.
And have been meeting and bumping into people, and the universe has been giving me the signs. Like even last night, look, I own a lot of furniture in the business.
Yeah.
And sometimes things are too big to go into property, so I have to sell bits and pieces every now and then. And I was selling a coffee table last night. The guy that came to have a look at it, don't even know how we got talking about it, but he's a property developer and he does shopping centres.
Oh,
and I was like,
wow.
of course you do.
Yeah.
Thank you, universe.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
my last question for you is, I guess, well, I've got two, and one was the big goals, and that sounds like a big goal. Sounds like a big goal for the year. Any other big goals on the horizon for you in the business?
Oh, in the business. Look, my social media has been, I've had to turn my account on private.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure why it's growing.
Yeah.
But I like it and it's great, but I don't know what to do with it yet.
So the goal is to figure that out?
Yes.
Well, let's have a chat after the podcast. Maybe we can have a chat about that.
Yeah, so that's definitely there.
Okay.
And the shopping centre commercial side of the business is definitely becoming a focus for us.
Yeah.
And potentially, so currently we're operating 95% subcontractors within the business model. I am thinking of taking it to more of having an electrician on staff, having a carpenter on staff, plumber on staff, and then making sure that we have the workload to keep them busy through the year.
Yeah.
That is definitely a goal of mine, to transform the business and the operations within this year.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Really exciting. Growing the team, internal team.
Yeah.
And my last question for you, any final tips for fresh flippers, people that are kind of thinking about having a crack? What would you say to them?
Get a mentor.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That changed everything for me.
Someone to learn from.
And don't take advice or the opinions of your barbecue mates when it comes to property, because everyone, like, it's a necessity item like food.
Yeah.
Accommodation's pretty high up there, and everyone's got an opinion on property, especially in Perth and the market. And my reply to someone who gives me their opinion is, how many have you done?
Yeah.
And this is, I think, actually probably one of the biggest mistakes you can make is using that as a tool to guide yourself. So hearing what other people are saying and actually not filtering how much expertise they have to be able to say what they are saying. And that's up to us to filter that. So getting a mentor is someone who does what you want to do. They do it successfully. They know what they're talking about, and the advice that they're going to give you is relevant, and that's the advice you take.
Yeah.
And that's a very rare thing to have in your circle when you're starting out.
Yeah.
It's not rare for me now because I only surround myself with people that are doing what I do.
Yeah.
Because it happens by default. The business isn't part of me now.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to go out for air to get around people who aren't talking property now. Whereas in the beginning I was trying to get around people talking property.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that like attract like thing that happens. Like, you know, if you want to change your life, you need to seek out what you want to be. And then once you become that, then it will seek you.
Yeah. Great advice. Lauren, this has been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, so
Thank
cool.
you so much.
Thank
I'm
you.
really, really excited to see what comes up for you for the next year.
It's going to be big ones.
If people want to find you and check out the Akebia Reno, what's your Instagram handle?
Yeah, we're at Perth Property Flippers.
Beautiful.
Not slippers.
Not slippers, flippers with an F. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jess.
That's it for this episode. We'd love any feedback or guest suggestions, so hit me up on Instagram on Jess@Crib. And if you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe and be sure to tell a friend.